We are back with a Fox News alert. So tomorrow marks the end of that 60-day ceasefire deadline between the U.S. and Iran. Iran's military is now reportedly putting out $30,000 bounties on U.S. soldiers. Meanwhile, Hamas leaders are reportedly telling Jared Kushner that they will demilitarize Gaza as President Trump's Board of Peace tries to salvage peace talks. All right, a lot to get to here. Joey, we're going to start with, I guess, the ceasefire I don't know if we can even talk about it in those terms, right? So let's just talk about the current state of where we are with Iran and if peace talks are even on the table anymore, if that even means anything. Is that even meaningful? Now, perhaps in the Gaza situation, there's something that can be done there, probably more of a separate issue, although sometimes interconnected because of Iran's funding of these groups. But if we're talking about what Iran's going to do between now and midterms, we've had several experts on this channel that have said things are probably going to get more violent. There's probably going to be more provocation from Iran, and that's not something we'd like to see. We don't want to see our service members in danger.
No,
but
of course not.
This could perhaps be the next iteration of what we're doing.
Yeah, I think it's a hurry up and wait game right now, which is something we say in the military a lot, which is like, let's rush to get this deal done, and then it's like it takes a lot longer to implement than it did to get it done. I think that the president wants some sort of economic warfare solution to this. I think that in his mind, if things can calm down enough and gas prices can stable enough, he can wait the Iranians out. I mean, nobody wants to sit there to buckle by November or going into November. That's their best chance of surviving this. Is there a fear of a prolonged war? Of course there is, because one major terrorist attack in our country right now, and that's what we have. We're invading that country and we're full bore. So that's kind of the fear, the threat going into any military operation with what is radical Islamic terror, and that's what Iran is. But with all that being said, the blockade seems to be our best strategy. And even the administration said they let some ships out, and depends on where those ships are going, even some of the Iranian ships. So I don't know if the blockade itself is the stranglehold that we want it to be to hurry this up. So all of those tell me this may be a much longer endeavor than any of us want it to be.
Yeah, Jason, you didn't get a chance to comment on this yesterday as we discussed this issue, so I want to give you a chance as well to tell not only us but our audience where you think we stand right now. And is this about a nuclear Iran, or is this now almost entirely about the Strait of Hormuz?
I think for most Americans who maybe don't have a loved one in the military and fighting, for most Americans, it's sort of white static. It's sort of white noise. They've heard this time and time and time and time again. I think they do appreciate that Donald Trump has taken that nuclear option off the table for the Iranians, and we will probably never fully appreciate what it would have been like if we didn't take that option off the table. But it is about the price of gasoline. For most Americans, if the price of a barrel of oil is not down to $65, you're not paying $3 or less for a gallon of gas, they're going to take that out on Republicans. And you can already hear from Congressman Jim McGovern and others who've been around the block, they're just going to pound a gallon, and now it's not.
Yeah, it'd be nice if everything would get a little bit more.
It's not within reach of $2 a gallon.
Yeah, no, I think we're a ways from that.
But it really used to.
Well, it's really unfortunate because I remember the President's State of the Union, Lisa, where we were touting gas prices and energy independence, and then unfortunately this is what had to happen. And I think the American people are just looking for perhaps the justification for the pain that they've endured for the last several months. Yesterday you talked about the economic impact on Iran. Can we win this just economically?
I don't know. I mean, Joey would know better than me. I don't think so. But I appreciate the fact that they're trying to implement different pain points to Iran. They're essentially trying to get Iran to say mercy, but Iran doesn't seem anywhere close, at least now, of wanting to say that or feel that the pain of these pressure points are worse than, succumbing to some sort of deal, right? Obviously, this started with the desire to deny their nuclear abilities, and now it seems we're stuck there because of the Strait of Hormuz. Yesterday, I had mentioned some of the pipelines that are getting created or coming online in the Middle East, where whether it's UAE or Saudi Arabia or Iraq trying to find ways to bypass Iran in the Strait of Hormuz. But yeah, I think this is a real challenge for the president of how do we get. You clearly see why the Middle East is such a tricky place and why we get into these forever wars and long-lasting wars in the Middle East. This originally was estimated to take weeks, and then now how long has it been?
Yeah.
Jason, I'd love if you don't mind, I'd love to get Jason's take on this because he's the first former member we've had on since this happened. But when you have Turkey, Pakistan, and Saudi Arabia only play both sides.
Well, and you have Pakistan that's got nuclear capabilities.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that complicates that whole arrangement. But to Lisa's point here, that Red Sea, the pinch point at the north, pinch point at the south, there have been, shots fired, things going off there that have not allowed the oil to move. And so I do think the Iranians look at this and they just want scorched earth for everybody, and they don't want anything to be calm because I don't think they like Donald Trump. They don't want to have. They like the idea of Barack Obama and Joe Biden, where they would send them pallets of cash. That's the America they want. So they just want to bring it through.
Not send them a little button, in the mail. You had to reset.
And also, one other thing too is we're dealing with terrorists here, right? I mean, we had started off the show also talking about Hamas, which Iran funds 93% of their activities or something like that. So they're one of the same, but that's what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with terrorists. We're dealing with religious zealots, these Islamists who they'd rather die fighting for what they believe in than to try to strike a deal with us. So when you can't really, how do you reach some sort of rationale in dealing with people like that?
Yeah, it's an enemy that we fought for too long now, and I think the hardest part for this administration, just to bring it back to when you asked the question about nuclear or the Strait, it's hard for the American people to say, thank God they didn't get that nuclear button when we saw Colin Powell tell us all about nukes in the back.
It looks like your query cut off. Fox News do. Depending on what you were looking for, here are the most common things people ask regarding Fox News. What does Fox News do? Fox News Channel, FNC, is a 24-hour cable news network and digital media company owned by Fox Corporation. It broadcasts U.S. and international news, live breaking coverage, analysis, business news, and conservative political commentary. How do I watch or stream Fox News? You can watch via traditional cable satellite providers, stream live via the Fox News app with a TV provider login, subscribe to Fox Nation on-demand streaming service, or stream coverage on the Fox One app. What do Fox News ratings look like? Fox News is consistently the most watched cable news network in the United States, competing mainly